How do you plan to build buildings cleanly? Are you talking about like a clean layout? I don't know. Before I answer your question, answer my question. Does this look clean to you or does this look messy? It's clean to me, but it's not like a grid layout. Like I have all my food in one section, so I always build my farms, then my chicken coops, and food storage, and then all of my animal pens. Did that answer your question? All my homes and dog houses are right here. Ancillaries down here. It's interesting because the way you build has to change completely with every map you play. Like wherever your crystals are, that changes where you're gonna build all your harvest trees, right? Same with your wood or your stone. Or your water. I always build my base pretty close to water. And then have my water purifiers and stuff right next to it. I don't know. Did that answer your question? I don't know what's up with Daphne, but I can't really bless him. What about Carla? Okay, I can bless Carla, but not Daphne for some reason. Markaya, looks clean. What my problems are when I start building and have just enough building I need in the early game when it comes to late game, and when I need more building, I seem to need more space. And I'm afraid to expand because I'm already committed to walls. Yeah, so this is what I recommend. So here's our mini map here, right? This will just help you see the full map a little bit more. I only recommend taking up 25% of the map. And so that can kind of help you gauge how much space you need. So because I didn't go all the way down here, I went a little bit more wide over here. So what I find is I always just need 25% of the map. Sometimes if you're like squished, like you're building in between like wood and like rocks and stuff, then you might need to take up a third of the map. But yeah, that's why this game is so freaking hard, man. It's because it doesn't hold your hand. It's like it really is just trial and error until you get it right. So you can see I'm a little squished here, but because I've cut back these trees and stuff, I'm getting more space on the top. And over here I have a little bit more space I could work with. Yeah, also it's pretty easy to expand walls as well. You said you're afraid to expand because you're already committed to walls. Like, if you have the resources, then it's easy to expand walls. Like, it's not a difficult thing to do, it just takes resources and time, right? So, I guess that's the only hard thing about it. The way you expand walls is this. You, come over here, you get your spell, your god walls, and you just go like this. You just, like, fill in a whole bunch, like, it doesn't even have to be pretty. And then you can delete all these walls right here and build new ones up here. You can put your god walls out further if you need more space than that, but use the god walls to expand your walls, because you can easily make those and delete them. Make sure you only expand walls during the day though, obviously. I still have like random god walls lying around. I have one right here and one right here. can delete these ones. Yeah, it's a tricky balance too, because if you take up too much space on the map, let's say like half the map, then the corruption is like significantly harder as well. Like the monsters will be way harder to kill. So you have to find a perfect balance of getting enough space for you and your buildings, but not too much where the monsters have higher hit points. So like right here, my corruption threat is pretty low. We're almost done with 1 year. We're on day 30. And my corruption threat is all the way down here. But in the last area I just beat, it was like way up here. And the monsters had like 1,000 extra hit points, so. Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. That Godwall tip is new to me and is very helpful. Yeah, the Godwall is the best way to expand walls. Late game, obviously, because it takes up a lot of your essence. So the more villagers you have in your village, the more God walls you can build. But you can do it in sections, right? You don't have to do like the whole half of your base. You can just do like this little part at a time, this little part at a time. So, like I said, it just takes time and resources, but it's not like a complicated thing to do. Looks like we're getting close to night here. Yeah, the thing is I'm to the point in this playthrough where I've built everything I need to last 1 year. So I have let me link you to this, because this actually might be really helpful for you as well. Sorry, let me just drop a couple guys in the Coal's Gate to get some essence going. Whoops, get back here. Okay, so now we have some essence. How long have you been playing this game? I've been playing for about 300 hours, I think. So a really long time. Like I think the average player, I think I looked it up, the average player plays like 50 hours. So definitely way more than average. I want to be the first. I don't know if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, Markai, but I want to be the first person who in the world who's beaten the game on nightmare difficulty. I don't think anyone has done it yet. I'm off to a really good start, so we're just gonna drag in all the fire elementals to here. So yeah, let me link you to my build guide. Here, we'll slow this down for a second so I don't accidentally get overrun. So check out this right here. This might be helpful too. I just put it in chat. So I made this. It's a really messy Google Doc. I'm a nerd, so I love planning out stuff like this. So what I've done is in the past 8 areas that I've done way more than that in this game, but in this playthrough of Nightmare difficulty, I've mapped out every single day what I'm building so that I can, and then when I die, I'm like, oh shoot, I died because I didn't have enough food, but on day 20. So then I can go back and plan and okay, on day 10, I need to build more food stockpiles. So what I've done is, this is my current step-by-step of what I'm building. So I followed that list in this area. And so I'm all done with the list, so I should be good for the whole year. So I just have 5 more days where I'm just gonna sit here and drag guys into the coal skate to get essence and wait it out, and then I'll be done with this area. It's a Google, or it's like an Excel sheet, Google sheet, so it's kind of, it's not very pretty, right? But hopefully it's useful. I keep it updated too, like when I come across new things. Like a better strategy, I always update it. But if you're wondering like what build order I'm following, that's my build order I'm going off of. That might help you plan for like space and stuff as well. Some people do like golem builds and stuff. I've always thought the golem builds were kind of lame. Like I always liked the maze and tower defense idea more, so yeah, that's why I've never really done the golem builds. Okay. So we're good on essence now. Don't you love these blinds? How they just like cast this thing on my face? All these little light dots. Very nice, this can help me. I just got this game last week and I'm a very technical person, so whatever I mess up my village, I always restart. Yeah, Mark, I totally get it. I'm super nerdy and technical too, like, I love strategy games and stuff. So you're like, I've even like totally deleted buildings to like shift everything over one block because it fits better into the map. I don't know if it's an OCD thing. I don't know. I think it's just like a fun managing thing. It's fun to like try to perfect something and make it look freaking awesome. Right now I'm not spending too much time like in the looks of my base, but in the very last area when I'm beating this series on Nightmare difficulty, I have this plan to like make this really cool, elaborate looking castle. So I'm kind of excited for the last area, but right now it's kind of just a grind to get to that last and final area. But yeah. So like you can play on and on, like, but your strategy just has to change as the days go on, right? Because the days go on infinitely. So eventually you will die. Which is kind of the hard thing about this game. That's why I'm only really like focusing on staying in each area 1 year, so that I can just beat that challenge. But yeah, there's some builds out there that do banish towers. So like they would line up banish towers right here and along this side. And what the banish towers do is they just help you be able to go into like late game, like day 80 plus. Yeah, I think banish towers are the only way that you can survive for that long. We'll repair our lightning rods over here. So yeah, we're just chilling. We're basically already finished the full build. Like that Google Sheet I showed you really only goes up to day 30, because by day 30 you should be able to survive until day 35. I guess you just have like 5 extra days at the end if you're like a little bit behind. Oh hey, Markai. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. It might be Markai. But it's also important to know that the first couple times you play, you're gonna like fail. Like your first worlds that you do is gonna be extremely hard because you don't have any perks yet. So that's kind of where like the rogue like aspect comes into it, because when you doom your world, you keep all your perks. Here, like for example, watch. We'll just save and exit this right here. You might already know this, and then I'm just talking to the choir here. Okay. So at the top here, you can see I got a whole bunch of God experience, they call it, and I got a chest, right? So why don't we spend our experience and open up the chest? And these are the 4. I'll move down here so we can see them better. These are the 4 bonuses I just got. Minus 10% healing aura spell cost, which is good because I use the healing aura spell cost all the time on the lightning rods. +1 conjure material spell amount. Oh. Yeah, I haven't really used this spell that often, but I guess this makes it so you spawn 2 materials each time. 10% wiser elders. Okay, that's good for just helping your people level up faster. 2 more influence per villager. Holy cow, so that's really good. So you get influence, like essence, in your essence bar for all your villagers. So now when I play, I'm gonna have more mana or more influence bar to spend on spells and stuff per villager. So this is my list on the right hand side. I have a whole bunch here. And when you doom your world, like you come up, let's say you like failed, right? Like you got overrun or you don't like your area. When you come up here and you doom your world, you actually keep all of these. You keep all your benefits so that the next time you start, you'll be stronger. Yeah, so you keep saying that you start over, right? This is what you said. You're a very technical person, so whenever you mess up your village, you always restart. Yeah, so instead of like restarting, like going out to the main menu and clicking on like delete your profile and like create a new profile, what you do is you come up here and you click on the little eraser button saying Doom World. It says completely reset your world, deleting all world progress, but you will keep your unlocked perks, God experience, and chests. So this is actually my 3rd world, my 3rd or 4th world for the nightmare difficulty, because the nightmare difficulty is so freaking hard. Like I wasn't able to complete it my first couple worlds. Like I would get to 1 area or 2 areas and then I would just I would get overrun, and that means I lost. Like I didn't beat it on nightmare difficulty. So I had to doom my world, but I gotta keep all my perks. And then when I restart, when I have a brand new fresh start, I'm stronger because I have all these cool perks on the right hand side. And I have a lot of them. So perks stack up infinitely. If so, you can't just keep dooming worlds and getting a good start. Yep, that's right. Yeah, so they stack up infinitely. So you can just keep dooming your world and getting a good start. Yeah, that's the whole idea of the game. Like, the game is supposed to be crazy hard, right? And crazy difficult. But what makes you want to keep going is because eventually you're gonna get a good start or enough perks where, like this perk, 5% maximum health, 5% maximum hunger, like these are all things, like 10% harvesting speed, 10% refining speed, like these are all things that help your villagers be stronger, work faster, run faster. There's some really good ones in here, like right here, +1 maximum carried resources. So this makes it so all your villagers can carry one more item in their stack of whatever they're carrying, which is really cool. So yeah, you can doom it and keep doing that as many times as you want until eventually you get strong enough or like good enough start or whatever that you can keep going. It's kind of hard though, like I'm like on area 6 now, right? And it's like, man, if I doom, I've spent like so many hours going through all 6 of these areas. Like, it's kind of sad still. It's not like I want to doom it, but if you have to, you definitely can, and you'll keep all your perks and stuff. Which makes me think Violetbank. Oh yeah, so if you're just starting right now, on the left-hand side, it's just gonna say like, survive 1 day, survive 3 days, survive 5 days, or whatever. But once you do that, then you actually get different quests on the left-hand side. So, Hollow Isle. So when you complete these different quests, these are what give you these perks on the right hand side here. Or sometimes you can get a chest and open the chest with your god experience. So yeah, I don't have any quests for the area I'm in right now. But yeah. Does that make sense, Markai? I don't know if I explained that like super well for you or not. I don't know if that makes you more excited to play the game or less excited. You're like, oh, this is what the game is? But yeah, I think it's fun. The funnest part of the game to me is starting a new area. Yes? Okay, cool. What is this jazzy music? Yeah, so there's like, Markai, like I could talk about this forever, but there's so many little things that you don't learn until you just like play a whole bunch. But let me talk about just one thing that would really help you out in your playthrough. I have nothing else to talk about right now because I'm basically done building this area. I'm just waiting for all these monsters to pass. We'll speed things up. So let me help you out with food, because food was like the hardest thing for me. I don't know if it's the hardest thing for you, but I always ran out of food. Like when winter hit around day 8, I believe it is. When winter hit, no, fall hits in day 8. I think it's day 16. That winter, spring. I can't remember what day it is. It's different on Nightmare, and then it's different on normal as well. But when winter hit, I always ran out of food. So let me explain to you what I've learned. So there's a couple different types of food. There's raw vegetables, there's raw meat, right? Like if you get an animal pen and you have a ranger station that goes out and collects animals. And there's cooked meat, and then there's eggs. There's raw eggs and cooked eggs. So vegetables give you 30, I believe it's 30 like food points. Like when the villagers eat it, they can eat it for 30 hit points of the vegetable. But the ration is 100 hit points. So like they'll eat the ration for more than 3 times as long as they'll eat one vegetable. So even though the ration takes a vegetable and a meat, it is way worth it because it lasts a lot longer. So when I started out, I just like mass produced farms. I had like 80 farms. Okay, exaggeration. I had like, I don't know, 7 farms and a whole bunch of farmers, and my whole village was just eating. Let me heal these. My whole village was just eating raw vegetables. But I always seem to run out of food, and the idea is eventually your villagers are going to out-eat you if you're only doing raw vegetables. So you have to make rations. So that's my first bit of food advice. Second bit of food advice, okay? How do you get more animals in your animal pens? So when you build an animal pen, Markai, are you following with me on this, or are you like not far enough into the game where you're like, I have no idea what a farm is or an animal pen? Like maybe I'm talking about like too advanced strategies here. The one thing I discovered recently is that you just need to click the meat production in resource management. Yeah, like what do you mean? Like when you go to your kitchen? Yeah, so when you click on your kitchen on the left-hand side, you have to say, okay, like always maintain this much meat, or always maintain this many rations. So what I do is I always shift click the rations so that it just goes to the chest. Maintain to storage limit, because I'm like, just keep making these things. Like I just want as many rations as we possibly can get. And then same with the raw meat. I have that to its limit. The cooked meat I only put till 30 because you need raw meat for rations, and rations are our ultimate goal, right? So I don't want to spend all of our meat for cooked meat. I want to make our meat into rations instead. But I'll keep like 30 cooked meat in here. And then cooked eggs, I always, yeah, boiled eggs, I always put it on the chest as well. Maintain to storage limit. If you hold down shift, let me see, control click is just one at a time. Shift click is where you can go to like toggle between the different things. But yeah, you have to select how much meat you want them to make, because the cooks won't slaughter the animals you've collected in your animal pens unless you've selected that. Okay, so it's daytime. So let me explain this, because this was really confusing to me. This is what I have right now in that guide, that link I sent you. Eventually, by day 30, obviously if you keep playing past day 30, like, or day 35, you'll want to slowly increase this over time. But I have 5 farms and 4 animal pens, and then 2 clucker coops that are full of chickens. So this is the cool tip that I didn't find out until I went and I talked to the developers. So I'm sharing this like bit of knowledge with you, and hopefully you're gonna benefit from it, because I don't think very many people know this. So your rangers in your ranger station or ranger lodge, they'll go and look for animals on the map, right? And they'll like run out during the daytime, they'll pick up the animal, carry it all the way back, and plop it in your animal pen. Your chefs in the kitchen, your cooks in the kitchen, they'll only slaughter an animal if it's above, I believe it's 80%. Meaning if it's 80% full. So if you only have one animal, so right now this can hold 10 animals. And you can see there's 7 animals in this one pen out of 10. And the cooks aren't gonna kill any more of them. They'll only kill it when it goes up to 8. So it's 80% or lower, or 80% or higher of capacity. They'll kill an animal and make it into meat. The reason for that is because these animals mate, right? And they produce more animals without you having to go collect them. So that's why they do that. They like want to keep animals there so that you can get more animals in the future. All right, so that's sort of explaining how that works. But now let me give you the tip that I didn't learn until I went and I talked to him in Discord. I spoke. By the way, if you have any questions, just go ask them on Discord. There's a lot of like really helpful people there. This is the cool tip though. Animals only spawn on the map if there's water next to resources. So there has to be water next to food. Oh yeah, so water and food close together and a resource. So it takes 3 things: water, food, and a resource. And the resource could be crystals, it could be wood, it could be rock. Okay, it doesn't matter what resource. If it's next to wood, then you get the antler animals. If it's next to rock, you get the beefalo, and crystals, I can't remember. I think it's the little rouse or whatever it's called. So what you do is eventually the corruption's gonna take out the whole map, right? And then all of a sudden you're not gonna have any animals to collect. So what you have to do is you have to build a little animal area for animals to come to. So I had this water right here. I made these little potatoes, and you can make potatoes with your spells. It's one of your spells. So a handy tip, if you're like about to run out of food, just cast the potato spell a whole bunch and there'll be potatoes for your guys to pick. And I'm not having my people collect this because I'm saving it for the animals. So right now there's no animals over here because I've already collected them and put them in the pens, but every day, once in a while, another animal or 2 will show up here and my guys will go collect them. And it's cool to make that inside your walls, right? So that your rangers don't have to walk outside of your walls to get the animals and then get killed by something. That the animals basically just come and like land right next to your animal pens. And then your rangers just pick them up, put them in the animal pen. Yeah. So if you're wondering why animals aren't spawning on your map anymore once everything is full of corruption, that's why. It's because you have to have there has to be food and water right next to each other and next to a resource. So I'll never cut down this patch of trees. I'll always keep this little area right here just for animals to come to. Hopefully that was helpful. I know it's not like super crazy important. Pick up this key, drop it on the chest. Get a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm like a nerd, so I love learning like the tiny little details like that. Another key. Drop it on this chest. just build some paths because I have like nothing else to build really. That's some advanced wisdom right there. Yeah. When you've played the game, I guess as long as I have, you kind of... It's all about efficiency, right? You just want to like make the best, like most efficient setup you possibly can. So yeah. You have any other questions? I'm not like one of those huge streamers yet, so you're the only one talking right now. Any regions you can recommend to have a real start? That's a good question. So let's go look at the map. It depends on what your goals are, man. Like if you're just playing to have fun, probably the most, I mean, every area's got its own challenges, right? Like I don't think there's any like bad, like unfun area. But if you're like playing to beat the entire map, that's one thing. Because I always recommend starting in this corner. Because it's a dead end. Like, the only way you can get out of this one is to go to this one. And then this one to this one. Right? So, it's a dead end. Whereas this, if you start like in one of these ones, they're connected to like 3. And the reason I recommend starting in a dead end is because like, if you come over here, you beat all of these, then you come down, and then you come to here and you're like about to lose this area, there's only one area you can send resources from. Because your areas can send like wood or send gold or iron to the neighboring areas, right? So this area can only get help from this area. So these areas are the hardest ones. So I always recommend starting them first, because if you're gonna play through the whole map, you might as well get the hardest ones out of the way so that you don't, because if you save them for last, then you might end up losing and then waste all your time, right? So at least if you die on these areas, then you can just start over and you've only lost a couple areas worth of time. Now, these ones I think are like the prettiest. Like it gets kind of tiresome to like look at these bright orange areas all the time. But these areas are like, I think are the most fun and interesting because there's lots of grass, there's lots of resources, lots of animals. Animals don't spawn up in this area as much as they do in the grass areas. Now this area is really fun. If you're just wanting like a fun area, it's also a dead end. So this is going to be the very last area I do. And this is where I'm going to build the big castle. After I go through all this. So this is also a dead end. But this is a really fun area if you're just wanting like one area to do. I've done this area lots of times and it's a rush. But yeah, like every area has its own challenges. Like for example, on the grassy areas down here, what is it called? The desirability is higher, meaning you're gonna get more migrants and immigrants to your area. Whereas over here, like here, we'll go back into the area. If I come up and click on, where's the filter? Desirability. So I'll toggle on desirability. You can see out here, it's all red. Like wherever there's this red rock and you can only build where you have like fire pits and stuff. It's like bright red, meaning no one wants to live here. So in order to get lots of immigrants and stuff, you have to build a lot of buildings, like you have to upgrade your castle a lot, lots of roads, lots of houses. And so you can see it's like starting to be green in the middle, but as you get further away from the clump of buildings, it gets redder and redder. But if you do that in the other areas where it's all grassy and tree-like, this isn't red, it's like, it starts out as like yellow. So already off the bat, you're gonna have way more people moving in. So that's like one benefit to starting in a grassy area. But yeah, every area is totally different. In the grassy areas, there's not as much rock, but there's a lot of trees. In the black sand areas, I think there's more rock than there are trees. Some areas have very little water, so like the red area that I'm in right now has lots of resources, it has rocks and trees, but it has very little water. So you're kind of limited to building your base in only a few specific spots. Like there's only little patches of water like this. So yeah. So that's my advice. Really, it doesn't matter if you're just like having fun and wanting to like experiment, or if you're just wanting to see if like you can go as long as you possibly can in like one area. You're not interested in doing all the areas, you just want to go for like 100 days in one area. Then I would pick probably like a grassy tree area. If you're wanting to beat the whole map, then I recommend starting in the red areas like this, because they're the hardest. So if you can get through these, then you're basically set. But yeah. Yeah, if you're wanting like a whole playthrough, I would do either the Red Rock areas, where you do the whole map, or the Survival Island, because I just think it has a good name for like a playthrough, right? You're like, if I can survive on Survival Island, then I can do the rest of the run. But honestly, like, what I'm finding out is I'm getting good enough at the game that it doesn't really matter where I start. Like, I could start in the middle, I could start over here in the hard, like, Red Rock areas, and I would be able to beat the whole thing. So really, you don't have to worry too much about getting the perfect area start. You just go to an area that you think is really cool, because that's gonna be your biggest success, is because you're gonna have fun. Alright, we have 11 pregnant people. So let's make sure they're all blessed. Whoa, let's turn off this thing. Let's bless you. Come here, Judy. We're gonna bless you, Judy. Oh, you're in your house? Okay, we'll bless you. Once you leave this group of people, there you go. And bam. Natasha. I'm surprised how many pregnant people there are. Natasha, Carla. Gooch? Hey! Kaisman! Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That was really nice of you. I hope you enjoy the content. Keep sticking around. Let me know if you have any questions. Sorry if I got your name wrong. There's like a whole bunch of like letters and numbers and stuff. Yeah, I think you're like the second person that's been able to use the new alert system we put in. When should I bother building a waymaker? I feel like it's a waste of time doing an early game. Yeah, it is a waste of time doing an early game. Just because for how many resources go into the roads, your guys don't move that much faster, right? Kaisman0708. You're welcome. I know what it's like to start Twitch off. Thought I'd follow. Keep it going, mate. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Yep. It's gonna be a grind, but we're having fun. I mean, we're just playing video games, so we're chilling. But yeah, Markai. The day that I build it... Let me see. Waymaker Shack. So I built it on day 20. That's when I build the Waymaker for all the roads. It's because at that point, you have enough villagers so that if you do build a road, it's actually going to benefit a lot more people than just like the 6 villagers you have when you start out. You actually start out with 12, but you get my point. Yep, so I wait till day 20. At least that's on the list that I'm currently following. We'll blast this guy. Okay, I think all my pregnant people are blessed. Nope, we still have to bless Judy. Alright, Judy, get over here. It's time for me to bless you. Okay. All pregnant people are blessed. How do I make villagers mate more? I want more population for forced labor. Yeah. That's a great question. I don't know if I know the answer to that question. I think making them mate more? I know having more villagers increases the... Oh, I actually know. I know a good tip for this. So if your villagers can only mate if they have some free time, some like downtime. So for example, right now I have 8 villagers that aren't doing anything. Like they're not assigned to any task. Now I know that's not very efficient, right? Like I should assign them to something, but because they're not assigned to anything, there's gonna be 8 people wandering around like flirting with other people and talking and therefore mating more. So I know that is one thing that you can do is have some people that just have free time. Or like don't have everyone so completely booked. When you're just starting out though, put everyone to work and you kind of just have to take it as they come. Highly recommend blessing your villagers though. Don't worry, Kaisman. Kai Mason. Sorry, Kai Mason. I've been calling you Kaisman. Kai Mason. But I'll get to you in a sec. Markai, what you can do though is, oh yeah, if you bless them, like I've been doing, right? Then they'll have the Nephilim children, and the Nephilim children live a lot longer than the normal villagers. They live like twice as long, so that will also help you have more people in your village. Dusk has arrived. Guys, I'm going to follow more people. I may be back, but good luck. Hey, thanks. Yeah, go chill. Thanks for the follow, man. Yeah. Should I dedicate a day to have people flirt? Nah. That's like a whole day of like wasted labor. What I'm saying is, if you're really wanting to maximize how many pregnant people you have, then yeah, like have extra people. But really, the fastest way you can get people to join your village is through immigrants. And the way you get more immigrants is way easier than the way you get more pregnant people. More pregnant people is nice because you can bless them and turn them into Nephilim children, which are, excuse me, which are like stronger and they live twice as long. But the way you get more immigrants is by increasing your desirability score. This thing we were looking at before. So the way you do that is you build like a lot of buildings next to them. Let's see, if we click on housing, when I hover over this, it says desirability 3 next to it. So I know it's gonna add 3 desirability to this area. And the doggo house adds desirability 3 too. So what I do oftentimes if I'm wanting more people in my village, I'll just build like 5 dog houses around my other houses. I'll be like, okay, we need like 3 more dog houses right here. 4. Let's do 5 dog houses. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna really boost the desirability of this area. So watch, once these are built, this area should get a lot greener. So we'll see. We'll see if this is a good example or tip for you. Oh, I haven't really been paying attention. Let's get some essence coming out of here. So yeah, I wouldn't really focus on getting people pregnant by giving everyone a day off to flirt. I would just focus on having them keep working and building buildings, because the more buildings you have, especially the more, some buildings give you negative desirability, right? Like the landfill, I think it's -3 desirability. So build that one far away from the rest of your buildings. But all the other buildings, most of them give plus to desirability. So that's the way you're gonna get more people right away. And then the more people you have, the more pregnant people you get, because there's just more people in your village. So I would do it that way. So yeah, once these okay, so our dog houses are done. Let's look at the desirability now. Look, it's like solid green. I don't know, I should have like taken a screenshot or something so you could see it, but it was like kind of green, but not this green. Now it's like really green. You can see especially down here, like it's really pushed out the green. So I recommend dog houses because they give you +3 desirability, but they don't take very many resources, right? It's just like some wood, a couple rocks. But yeah, it's easy for me just to build like 5 dog houses right away because, I mean, I have 225 building slots open. At the beginning, another tough thing to balance is like how many building slots you have. So that's just gonna take practice as well. Or if you follow my guide, I've written down the time that I build these 4 dog houses. I have 4 right here. I can't remember what day it is, but it's pretty early on. Dogs are also really good too because they can haul things. They're basically like mini villagers that don't eat as much food, and they haul things so that your villagers have free time as well, so that's nice. Yeah, see, my villagers are like running around terrified because they're trying to repair these lightning rods, and the lightning's just scaring them, so they're like running out of the base because they're idiots. So bigger desirability around your village, more immigrants come. Yep, more immigrants come. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but you can have a maximum of 10 immigrants in one day, or a minimum of 3? I think it's a minimum of 3 immigrants, or a maximum of 10. And immigrants don't always spawn, but I think they have a really high chance of spawning. I think it's like a 75% chance they'll spawn that day. So you have a range, right? A range from 3 immigrants to 10 immigrants. And there's a couple things that go into how many immigrants spawn, including desirability. But I think for the first 10 days, I think the max amount you can get is 7 immigrants. And then after that, you can get up to 10. I might just be throwing out bullcrap numbers there, but it's like something like that. Like the very beginning days, you can't, like there's a cap on how many immigrants you can get. But after that, the cap is 10. So you could get 10 people in one day just joining your village. Especially, and that is based off of desirability. Oh, desirability, and the second thing it's based off of is how many job slots you have open. So like for farmers, I have 5 farms, so I could have 44 farmers, but I only have 15. So there's like a lot of job openings, right? So that's another thing that makes lots of villagers, immigrants come, is having lots of job openings. So upgrading your castle gives you a whole bunch of job openings for builders. Upgrading ancillaries gives you a whole bunch of organizers. So like I have 51 job openings there. So yeah, desirability and job openings are the 2 things that determine how many migrants come. There might be something else in the code that determines it too, but those are like the ones that I know of. So I don't know, Markai, if that answered your question. Markai, have you used the cola skates very much? Any other pregnant people? Nope, be blessed, everyone. Holy cow! A fire elemental was taking out my cold skate. That could have been really bad. I almost lost the last area to that. Because it's hard to see the fire elementals through all these like pixels. Like, how do you see a fire elemental standing right here shooting your thing down? Okay, we should be good there. Yes, but I'm afraid to use a lot because it says it's going to explode. Yeah, yep. So you can put 2 people in at a time. And then if you put in a third person, then lightning starts striking it. and it has a health bar, right? So if lightning strikes it, it loses health. And so you can put like sometimes 4 people in it, and like a whole bunch of lightning will strike it, but it won't kill it. But if you put like 5 people in, too much lightning spawns and then it kills it. What the heck, man? So the trick to being able to just load people in here like I'm doing is to build a whole bunch of lightning rods, so that the lightning doesn't strike this, it strikes the lightning rods. And what's cool about lightning rods is that when lightning strikes it, it makes essence. It makes like mana for you. So like I could just spam a whole bunch of spells. Like, what's a cool spell I haven't used? What about the God Bow Tower? Like this. What if we made some like God Bow Towers? One right here, one right here. Like, I have unlimited energy because these things are producing so much energy from all the lightning that's striking them that I don't have to worry about like essence. Like, these things aren't producing energy. All they're doing is rerouting the energy my lightning rods are sending off. But this is expensive, right? Like, these are hard to make. They cost a lot of... Oh, man. One of my guys died. He ran out because he got all scared from the... He got all scared from the lightning. I need to finish the wall. I need to finish this little maze so that that doesn't happen. But let's say I delete these now. I'm gonna delete these. Now I have like all this missing essence. I'm gonna get this back like instantly because I'm just creating so much essence here. So look, it's just filling up on my screen at the very top. It just fills up super fast because all the lightning rods and the coal skate are just making so much essence. So I can cast unlimited spells. What's is cool about this build is with your lightning rods and your coal skate combined, you can just make unlimited essence basically. Which in turn means like unlimited food, unlimited resources, because I could just use this potato harvest spell and that's just like come over here and make a whole bunch of potatoes. And I can just make potatoes off cooldown. So that's kind of cool. Halfway through night 31. Yeah, that is actually genius. Yeah, it really is. Like, the problem I kept running into is when I had fully upgraded towers, is fully upgraded towers just use so much essence. Like so much energy, and I was always running out, like, because even though I have 20 essence collectors here, they can't make the essence fast enough for all these towers. So what you do is you have a cool little setup like this, and you have unlimited essence. And there's like other builds where you make, like, the rule of thumb is you make one of these for every day. So I should have 30 of these, and I think if I had 30 fully upgraded essence collectors, I would be okay, essence-wise. But I just don't want to make like 30 of these. It takes so much crystals and crylithium, and so I don't know. I just like the lightning rod coal skate setup a little bit more. Yeah, on Discord, no one was using the, like, I went into the Discord channel. I was like, hey, like, I keep running out of essence. Like, how many essence collectors are you guys building? Like, do I just have to build 50 of them? And then like one guy out of nowhere here, he's like, try this strategy. And I did, and the coal skate and lightning rods, and it's worked so well. I can't remember what else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like I kind of want to hurry and finish this area so that we can go to a brand new area. And I could show you how I start out, because right now it's kind of boring, right? Like I'm just sitting here dropping people into a coal escape. Like this isn't the fun part. The fun part is like when you first start out and you're like building all these buildings. And then once you hit day 30, then you can like chill and finish it off. D-Live team. Hey, cool. My channel is being featured on the D-Live homepage right now, which is kind of sweet. That's awesome. So yeah. So we just have all this essence like sitting here because it's not being used. And all of these just like pouring out the essence to all our towers. It's kind of a cool little setup here. Yeah, let's speed things up. Actually, I'm gonna slow things down so I can read and talk to you at the same time. Not get swarmed with this. Okay, what is the difference between wood walls and stone walls or curtain walls? Aren't all monsters the same? Are they just going to find an open path across the map? Great question. So, have you ever played like StarCraft, like the arcade modes where you build these like, or like maze tower defenses where you build this like complicated like swirl maze and you have like your towers around it? Like, you can't do that here. Let me explain to you how the maze and the wall setup works. So, if I click on here and I click on, where is it? Movement costs, okay? So you see how everything is red, except for this little path right here. This is yellow. And then these paths up here, they're green. So wherever there's a path, the movement cost is really low, right? Because like, it's a path. It's supposed to make you move faster. Well, so many monsters have been walking here that there's a little path forming too, like a little dirt path forming. So if a monster spawns all the way over here and has to walk on this red movement, or orange or red or whatever movement cost, it's gonna add up because he has to walk a long way to get over to this entrance. So there's no way of doing math for this, but eventually if the movement cost is too high, like for example, if I filled this with water, this like pathway with water, monsters can still walk through water, but look, it's red. So it's gonna add up really fast. Like the cost of moving across this, that is gonna add up really fast. And eventually the monsters are gonna be like, okay, it costs me too much to walk this really long path or walk through this water, that I'm just gonna go through a wall. And so they will just attack your walls. And you're like, what the heck? Why are they attacking my walls? Because I have an opening over here with this cool little maze thing I've built. Why are they attacking my walls? And it's because of that. The movement, it's too much movement cost for them to get around. So how do you get them to stop attacking your walls and actually make this really long, crazy journey? And that is double layering your walls, right? So that's why over here, my walls are 3 thick. 1, 2, 3. And over here, it's just 2 thick. Or right here, it's just 1 thick because they're already close to the exit, right? Like I don't need 2 walls here. But I do need 2 walls here. And then I need 3 walls over here so that they don't try to attack these walls, that they much rather take the movement cost and walk around over here. Which reminds me, I've been wanting to do this for forever, and I just keep forgetting. So let's hurry and build this. Finish up this wall. This will also help my people not come over here by the lightning rods and get scared as much. Okay, and let's talk about the differences between a wood fence, a trashy cube wall, a stone wall. All these are based off of hit points, right? So my wood wall has 210 hit points. I can't remember how much. Sorry, my stone wall has 210 hit points. My wood wall, I'm not sure how much it has. It's less than 210 though. And my Cryolithium wall has 315. And my Cryolithium curtain wall has 1,155. So if I just had 3 wood walls over here, just like 3 wood fences, they would still come through and attack it, because like 3 wood fences to them is the same as like 1 stone wall. So what I first do when I build my base is I build the stone wall, and then I build the Cryolithium wall. And I actually build my fire pits into the stone wall like this. So your fire pits count as a wall piece. Or a monster smart and they'll identify it as a wood wall and thus destroy it. Okay, yeah, so I'm really long-winded here, right? Like I'm trying to explain everything to you. And this is like a complicated game. Like there's a lot to learn. But your fire pits count as a wall. Nothing will cross over it except for specters. So specters can cross over regular walls, right? You have to build a Cryolithium curtain wall. Or not curtain, but a Cryolithium wall or a Cryolithium curtain wall to stop specters. That's the only thing that can stop them. So yeah, but your fire pit is the same as any other wall. It's super strong. 1 second. Yeah, honey? Okay. I thought my wife was calling out to me. So what I first do when my very first wall is always a stone wall. And I always build fire pits into the wall. Like these fire pits right here, which I don't need anymore. So we can just destroy these fire pits, I guess. Oh, nope. That was a bad idea. But these fire pits right here should have been built into the stone wall. Okay. So like this fire pit was built in the stone wall, this fire pit was built in the stone wall, this diagonal stone wall. Down here I built these fire pits into the stone wall. And what that does is it makes it so I can build outside of the stone wall, right? Because when you build a wall, it locks in like this right here. Like I can't build in this path anymore because this wall is locking it out. Yeah. So, because my fire pits are built into the stone wall, then I can later on, when specters start spawning, which is day 12, on nightmare difficulty at least. So by day 12, I'll have this built on the outside of my stone wall, my Cryolithium wall. So what that's going to do is it's going to make my walls double thick, 2 times as thick, so monsters are going to be not wanting to break through it. And it's going to stop specters. So technically it'd just be 1 thick for specters, but 2 thick for all the other mobs. And then when you're getting further on and you're like, okay, I need to like triple up these walls now. Then I usually build the Cryolithium wall. So the curtain walls cannot be seen over. So it's hard to tell, but see how these shadows are really tall, like really long, and the shadows on these are really short? It's because these are like technically super tall curtain walls, like you can't see over them. And so that means your towers can't shoot over them. Like these towers can't shoot over this wall. And it also means that your villagers can't see over them. So they can't like shoot bows and arrows at people over them. But that also means the fire elementals, these guys walking around, these guys are ranged, right? But that also means they can't just walk over here and shoot my building because they can't see over the wall either. So that's why you build curtain walls versus a stone wall. It does give you more hit points, but it takes away more resources, right? So the reason you build the curtain wall is to stop people from seeing over it. Stop the monsters from being specifically the fire elementals from looking over your wall and shooting your guys. I think the curtain walls are mainly just for fire elementals. Why else would you want to build these? Yeah, I think it's mainly just for fire elementals from shooting over into your base. Or from stopping your towers from shooting outside of your base. So yeah, the Trashy Cube wall is equivalent to the stone wall. So it's not like super good. I've never really built the Trashy Cubes. But like hit point wise and everything, it's the same as the stone wall. Oh, here's a good tip for you. When you build a wall and you have a gate in it, the monsters will always target the gate first. So instead of just like, if they were to attack through your wall because they don't want to walk all the way around and you didn't double wall it, then instead of attacking through the wall, they'll go over and attack the gate first. So you need 2 gates for every 1 wall. So that's why I have 4 gates here. Instead of just like 3, 1 for each wall. It's because I need extra protection on the gates to deter them. So they view this as 4 gates and they'll be like, oh, I'd rather just walk around or attack a wall. You don't really need gates anywhere. Except for in key areas. Like I put 1 gate here because why did I put a gate here? I think I put a gate here because I needed to finish building this outside wall and this fire pit didn't reach it or something, so I put gates here. And I put this gate here because it's close to the edge of the map. And sometimes the nomads will spawn right here. And instead of having them walk all the way around to the entrance over here or all the way to here, I just put a gate here so that the nomads could walk through there. Yep, so the nomads always spawn at the edge of the corruption here. Speaking of nomads, I got 4 today. Or are monsters smart? Then they just, yep. So I hope that answered your question. Long-winded question. Just specters can go over normal walls, so that's why you need Crylithium eventually by day 12. Curtain walls are just so fire elementals can't shoot into your base. It also, so the curtain walls are also good for these too. Because they build towers as well. This right here, Corrupted Poison Bow Tower. These can shoot over your walls as well. So eventually you need a curtain wall to stop the enemy from shooting in. The only tower that can shoot over walls is the Ballista Tower. So that's why I have Ballista Towers there, so that they could just shoot all around, kill people. Ballista Tower here. And one down here. So yeah. Did that answer your question, Makai? Hey, so take a look at this. We have a wild beefalo here. And the reason he came down here is because, look, we have water next to food, because I built those potatoes to demonstrate to you, right? And we have this guy. Nope, he's just wandering around too. But eventually one of our, where is it? Our rangers. Where are you? Our rangers will come and pick up this beefalo. So if I wanted him to go over to this area instead, because I was just doing this for demonstration, I could just delete out this food. And then, and why not? We'll just delete out the water too. And then the beefalo will head over to this area over here. Close to the other animals. Wild beefalo. It's kind of funny that they call it a beefalo instead of a buffalo. Because it gives you beef. Gotta speed this up. Okay, so I destroyed all the food, so this beefalo should head over to that top area in a second. When it gets hungry. It's wandering around. We're just gonna follow this beefalo. We don't really have anything else to do. I built this wall here so that people stop going near the lightning rods and getting freaked out. I have thought of a fun concept using rangers as defense, but the problem is that it's very costly and the risk of dying is high. But it's a very fun idea though. Yeah, that would be a cool idea, like, because rangers have bows and arrows and swords, right? So they'll like shoot when the enemies are at range, and then when the enemies come up close, they can auto attack them. But, so yeah, I wonder if you built like just 5 ranger stations right here at the entrance instead of bolt towers, if that would work. Let's see. Wait, I don't want to lose my beefalo though. I'm trying to like prove to you that because we deleted the food and water over here. Oh, but there's more food. Okay, so yeah, so let's delete. I mean, we deleted the water, so we should. Is this food or is this just trees and stuff? Alright, we'll delete all this. Oh, okay, so he's hungry. We have an earthquake. Anyway, he's taking too long. Let's go over and look at the rangers. Oh, hey, look. He's carrying it. He's carrying a little animal that was over here. Yep, so he's carrying it and puts it in the animal pen. And now we have an extra animal there. Okay, so we'll just quickly heal some of the important buildings. Okay. So if we look at this ranger again, he does melee damage slashing. Range damage is piercing. Okay. So yeah, actually that kind of destroys the idea because, whoops, I didn't mean to push that. You actually won't be able to have rangers as your defense because they only do slashing and piercing damage. And all the monsters after like day 10 are resistant to those two damage types. Like, let's look at this guy. Actually, that guy died. Let's look at a different guy. This guy over here. Okay, so I guess I mean, he's not a monster that attacks you. Let's find a monster that attacks you. These are just builder dudes. I thought there was monsters over here somewhere. Right here. Nope, that's a builder dude too. I'm not seeing any monsters yet. It's evening time, so we'll see monsters in a second, but all monsters are resistant to piercing and slashing types. That's why I don't have any bow towers, because they're all piercing damage and they're not very good. Like, at the very beginning I build bow towers, but after day 10, I only build these towers, and then I eventually delete the bow towers for space. But yeah, so unfortunately your rangers are only good for like the first 10 days. But you couldn't have like a whole ranger setup unless you just had like 100 rangers. Maybe we should try that. Like, the way to overcome any bad setup is just to like really overdo it, right? Like, rangers might not be very good, but if you have 1,000 archer villagers and they're just shooting monsters, I mean, like, who's to stop them? You know what I mean? So we'll have to try that. Why are these buffaloes and stuff still coming down here? Oh man, he's still... I wonder if it's because they settled in this area and then I deleted all the food and water. So they like got freaked out, I guess. Or like they were already set here. I don't know. They should come up here though. Oh, it's because this is frozen over. So they don't really have anywhere to go. Yeah, so when the water freezes over, you can't really do anything. Yep. I wish you could like speed up time a lot faster. Look for pregnant ladies. May. Oh. Hey, this is a good example. I don't know if you're still with me, Mark Guy, but we're about to have a blood moon. Which should be our last blood moon of this area. I once had a blood moon on the very last day. Just like worked out that way. So that was rough. So the blood moon is gonna be intense here. So the hard thing about the blood moon is that they just have blood slimes that spawn in your base everywhere. Do you think that the developers will keep updating big stuffs in this game. I've checked the latest updates in their site, and all I see are just minor bugs and tweaks. So they came out with a big update like a couple months ago, which was the trash systems and how there's like trash that appears in your village. But that was their last big update. And I think they said that the game is pretty close to being done. So I don't know if there's gonna be a whole lot more updates, like big ones. I think there's just gonna be small ones. I personally can think of a whole bunch of big updates that I would love to see. So hopefully they keep coming out with them. But they kind of like hinted that the game was pretty close to being complete. Alright, we got some essence flowing with all our lightning rods. Alright, blood moon time. It's almost here. We're at 1 times speed. Man, our corruption is pretty high. Gotta be a little careful. Okay. So I'm keeping the mini map open because we're about to have a blood moon. There we go. Blood moon rises. So blood slimes are just gonna appear randomly in my base. So it's actually raining blood right now. It's kind of hard to see with all the pixels. And here's a blood slime. So I'll just... Here's the blood slime. So I'm just gonna drag it out of my base because there's no way, by the time it walks all the way around, the night will be over. The blood slimes are pretty slow. Here's one up here. Bum bum bum. Is here another one? Yep, here's another one. I'll just drop in front of my towers. Ugh. Yeah, the blood slimes are the one time where you have to really pay attention. Okay, I think we're all good so far. I'm not seeing any red dots on the minimap. The red dots are so small, it's sometimes really hard to see. Here's one. Yeah, this is where you have to be super careful because this is where fire elementals can spawn in your base too. The most I've had is 2 fire elementals. Sometimes I've had none. But a fire elemental will just stand in your base and they take down your buildings super fast. Okay. We're good so far. This guy's coming toward the gate. Wow, it's because of these villagers. So that's not good. These walls are damaged. I wish you could like lock your gates. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey villagers, don't use these gates. This guy is also coming to the gates. Because it's a blood moon, my villagers are freaking out and they're like running out of the base. And that's drawing the monsters inside the base. Have to really pay close attention here. Wow, so they're attacking my gate here. And it's because my guys keep running out of it. So it's like, my guys will run out, then a monster will go to attack my guy, and then my guy will run back in the gate. Whoa, where am I? And so, then the monsters attack the gate. Because when it's a blood moon, everything goes freaking nuts. Come over here. You idiots. How about let's stop going out of the gate? How about that? Okay. Doing good. Chucking the fire elementals into here. We're still looking pretty good. Like, look at this guy. He's freaking out, and so he's running out of the base. What the heck, man? I swear I saw a bad guy over here. He's right here. Here. Oh, we're actually doing pretty low on energy, too. You see all these that are saying low energy? It's because we're not producing enough. So I'm gonna put some more people in our Colas gate. Oh, there was a slime there, but everyone gangbanged him. Okay. Off to doing good. We're almost halfway through the blood moon. Bad guy over here. These idiots. Can we not? How about let's not? I need to get rid of that gate, don't I? I just need to wall it off. Like, it's not doing anything for me. And all my guys are just running out because they're freaked out because of the blood. The blood slimes. Oh my gosh. Blood slime, blood slime. Things are getting intense here. Focus. I'm not gonna lose this. Ugh. You little twerps. Whoa, there's a bunch of fire elementals. Okay. Blood slime, you go out here. Okay. Hopefully. No. No. Yeah. It's like 50 people running outside for no apparent reason. Oh. The fire elementals are scary because they can just shoot over these walls. Like, they could be shooting my towers right now, but they're not. Alright. We're holding up okay. 3/4 of the way through the night. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'll answer your questions in a bit. To make sure my villagers aren't gonna be stupid. Edith froze to death? What the heck, man? Come on, Edith. Do we not have enough houses? We don't. We don't have enough houses. We have 143 villagers and only 133 spaces in our housing. Check all these outside the base. All these blood slimes. Is there blood slime in here somewhere? I think there is, but one up here. Check you outside the base. Holy smokes. Yeah, when the next day comes, I'm gonna get rid of that gate. It's just causing way too much hassle. Oh, I need to like stretch out my shoulder. I'm like getting stressed. Come on. Oh my gosh. These little slimes, I'll just let my people attack them. This gate is a huge problem. This is what we're doing. We're god walling it. No going through this gate. Holy smokes. So many enemies attacking it and so many people running through it. Okay. We're so close to being done with this night. I had it on the very last day once. It was very difficult. Okay. Just have to make sure there's no fire elemental. So these guys are freezing to death because I don't have enough housing. Let's upgrade this. Housing. Upgrade. This is one thing I guess I just forgot to do. Just upgrade all my housing. Whew, we survived. Yep, everything's looking okay. We freaking survived. Alright, let's upgrade housing. And let's send 20 people to Wolfmire. Okay. Oh, we did it! Okay. Now we can relax a little bit. Markai, do you think the developers will keep updating? Okay, we talked about that. Have you ever accidentally thrown a villager into the closed gate accidentally? I haven't. I was not happy. Yeah, I have too. I accidentally threw a pregnant woman in once. Yeah, that was not my proudest moment. Yeah, I have accidentally done it. I thought about doing a playthrough where I only would accept Nephilim people into my village. So I would chuck all the normal villagers into the closed gate, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed like too tedious to do and think of. All right. This is what we're going to do. We are going to destroy these gates. We have to do this quickly. I should probably have a god wall up while we do this. So we're gonna destroy these gates and just put in walls. Holy cow. It was just such a pain. Okay, cryolithium curtain here. Actually, no. Gonna delete these two. Everyone's preparing to leave the village. So I'm just gonna quickly recall everything. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to go. I have class at 11 and I'm preparing and I have to prepare and stuff. Good luck on your stream. That blood moon was intense. I learned something. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for coming in and stopping by. I appreciate it. Do you stream daily on Rise to Ruins? Not always on Rise to Ruins, but I stream Rise to the Ruins pretty often. I also put out videos of Rise to Ruins on YouTube. Alright, guys. I think we're gonna call it good for tonight. Thank you so much for coming and checking it out. I know we're 2 days away from the end, but we just had the blood moon. Everything else is gonna be pretty basic. Same old, where I just drag and drop people into here and we're gonna transfer people onto the next area. I hope this was helpful for you. I feel like we got a lot of questions answered and stuff. So thank you for coming and checking out the live stream, and I hope you enjoy this video on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough as we are trying to beat the hardest city manager game in the world, Rise to Ruins. And as always, break a leg.